If you are buying or selling a home, knowing how the real estate business works can make the difference between a good deal or a really bad investment. That's where real estate agents come in. It's their job to look after the best interest of their clients, whether it's an investment property or finding the home of their dreams.
I'm Alfonso Milanese, and I'm the owner-broker of Show For You Realty.
I really think it's going to fit you and your wife's needs perfectly.
I just love dealing with people and the flexibility of time that this allows me. I have the pleasure of running the company with Anne-Marie. She's not only my business partner, but she's also my wife. She really does pick up where I leave off, and I feel that I complement her as well. Well, we founded Show For You Realty with the basis of actually giving extra service to our customers.
And how much more service can you get than actually being driven around in a limousine when you go look for homes? And what we did was we outfitted this particular limousine with all of the modern, up-to-date, state-of-the-art electronics. We have a full-blown computer built into the car, internet, printing, scanning, faxing, anything that we would actually need to conduct business right here in the car.
Every single customer loves it. Once they get in and they see what we do in the car and how we pay attention to them, they just feel special, and that's where we accomplish what we're out to do.
Well, thanks again, Alfonso.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Alfonso and his team are always coming up with new marketing plans to keep their customers happy. But what happens when a potential new client is also a friend? Some agents consider this the kiss of death.
Hey, Shauna, how are you?
Hi, I'm Shauna.
And I'm Tate, and this is our home in Burbank, California.
Since they haven't seen each other for some time, Alfonso was happy to reconnect with his old friends.
When they were contemplating selling their home, they decided to give us a call and ask for some advice.
There they are. Hey.
Hi. Well, come on in. Great.
Thanks.
Shauna and Tate originally paid over $780,000 for their home and had invested $230,000 in renovations. They're seeking Alfonso and Anne-Marie's honest advice on how to market their home and get top dollar for it.
I'm sure you could run into some issues when you have friends as clients. You don't want to make someone feel bad. And it's not a good practice to do that with any client. But sometimes people feel that since we're friends of theirs, that we shouldn't say certain things. At the end of the day, we're professionals, and we're professionals in the real estate industry. So we have to be honest about what we like and what we don't like.
That was built in the 80s, and this was built in 1942. Oh, wow. So when we bought this house, we actually went to the city to start looking at the permits, and it had the most complaints of any house in Burbank because it was so decrepit and so down. I mean, this place was just really in bad shape.
This house was in shambles when they first purchased it, but you'd never know it by the way it looks now.
In coming to the house before, as a invited guest, it just looked like everything was built this way. So the fact that it actually, what you did and what was here, actually meted together well, it does not look like an add-on. That's what was most impressive to us. Now that we're actually selling the home and we know the history behind it,
right,
or we're getting to learn the history behind it, it's just opening our eyes to, to appreciate it even more.
Yeah.
So this was many coats of plaster to smooth it all out.
They just put a lot of love into this house, and I think it shows.
This was a basketball court, and there was old oil barrels here from the 40s that were still, everything's new sprinkler system throughout.
New landscape.
New landscaping. And
well, this by far is my favorite part of the house.
mine too.
So Shauna, the wood gate, what is that for?
Well, that we built, it was intended actually to be the driveway gate for where the garage was going to go, which we never ended up building.
Did I hear you say there's no garage?
Yeah. I didn't tell you that on the phone?
No, you didn't.
Oh.
The fact that the property doesn't have a garage could make the sale more difficult. It's one more issue that Alfonso must consider if he's going to take Shauna and Tate on as clients.
All right, well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, we were sort of happy we didn't build a garage because what we get to do is just play with this huge open backyard for our 4-year-old daughter to play in.
Aesthetically speaking, the yard is beautiful. It's wide open and the landscaping is right on. I'm just more concerned about the marketability of your home. The fact there's no garage is a big unknown. I don't know if it's going to be a stumbling block in selling this house or not.
Coming up, Alfonso and Anne-Marie must decide if they want to take on their friends as clients and possibly risk hurting their relationship.
That freaks me out just a little bit.
If you're considering hiring a friend as a real estate agent, here's a few things to keep in mind. As with any situation, you have to be able to look at your home objectively. Are you willing to hear the truth from your friend, even if it hurts? Be upfront about your expectations. This will avoid any surprises that may cause discomfort in the future.
Real estate agents Alfonso Milanese and his wife Anne-Marie have been asked by old friends Shauna and Tate to advise them about selling their home. Shauna and Tate are interested in hiring Alfonso as the listing agent, but he has some reservations with taking on friends as clients.
Before we take the listing officially, can I count on you guys to keep the business transaction separate and the friendship on another side as well? Because I really feel that it's complicated enough sometimes with people selling their homes that it does become an emotional issue.
We did really go back and forth on it, and we thought, you know, this is either a really good idea or it's a really bad idea because obviously our friendship is senior to the whole thing. But after we sort of weighed out the plus points and the minus points on it, and given your guys' track record in the area, we thought, you know what, we trust you both personally and professionally.
It's just the fact that we still have that friendship is extremely important to me.
Alfonso and Anne-Marie agree to take Shauna and Tate's listing and feel they can keep their professional and personal relationship separate.
At the end of the day, it really is just their house and not necessarily the way that we feel about each other.
Back at their office, Alfonso and Marie strategize on how to best handle having their friends as clients. A major stumbling block already is the fact that the property, valued at over $1 million, has no garage.
We need to be brutally honest with them, just like we are with every other client, because the end result is a successful sale. Let's just say, John Q couple come through the door, wife loves the house, the guy could care less and all he wants is his garage, and he'll let his wife have the house if the garage is there, and it's not.
Right.
That's a negative.
So Alfonso's concerned about the garage, and I understand. To me, I still feel it's not as big a deal. When you have a difference in opinion, the tension seems more than it would be, I think, with maybe somebody I just met.
But on the positive side, if it were you and I, I would look at, well, now here's an opportunity for me to build this really cool garage.
In addition to the garage issue, the two must also come up with a pricing strategy that will get their friends the money they want while still pricing the house to sell.
We've got basically the two options. Do we go low, without the garage, just get multiple offers, or do we go on the higher end for what the house is worth and see what happens?
That's literally the million-dollar question in this particular case.
So game plan is you go talk to Shauna and come up with a price.
Well, we're going to
I'll
check the
go-
comps,
Yep.
just like we normally do. Where it actually is going to come down to, it's really going to be a gut feeling. I just don't know which way they're going to go.
Shauna and Tate have made it clear that they expect to get well over $1 million for their home. Alfonso gets to work checking out the selling prices of comparable homes in the area. The problem he runs into is that there are much newer homes on the street that recently sold in the same price range as Shauna and Tate's. Sellers usually consider newer homes to be more desirable.
I feel that our house is not only equal but superior because of the fit and finish and the detail that was given to this particular house, as opposed to someone building a house just for profit.
The next step is to meet with Shauna and Tate and see if they can all agree on a selling price.
We can go one of two ways. I feel that the house is going to go eventually for about 1.25 to 1.275 as far as the price is concerned. What we can do is price below what we know the value is on this house and just get these people to just fight it out. Then let them fight it out and let the price come up from competition.
We'd like to get as close to 1.3 as we can get without scaring people off initially.
I feel that in order to get the best interest for this house, I think we should price it right around $1,199,000.
When Alfonso said he wanted to start out at 1.199, I felt a pit in my stomach. Okay, because that freaks me out just a little bit. And here's why. You know, the house up the street sold for 1.26, and it's not nearly as nice as this. So, to me, this is a real dance right now on pricing.
It is.
I also want to make sure that we're not giving any profits away that we don't need to.
If we do price it low enough to generate a lot of interest, then we're going to have the multiple buyers coming through, and the house will get to that level in price to what it's worth.
Right, but don't you think, Alfonso, starting that low in a multiple offer situation, are we really going to get another $75,000?
It can happen.
Well, I want to discuss it, frankly. All right, look, I understand Alfonso's point. We want to get people in the space. We want to actually, it's like, it'd be fun to show the place off and attract attention. However, I want to attract the right attention. I don't want someone just coming in, this is a steal. Because that place up the street, like we said, 1.26 is,
Doesn't compare.
It doesn't compare.
Yeah.
I grind on it at night. This house blows it away.
Working with a friend it's interesting. This is a relationship I'm going to have after this transaction as well. And it's not going to be just, a realtor that I didn't have a good experience with that I'm never going to see again.
Coming up, Alfonso and Anne-Marie struggle to settle on a listing price that will satisfy their friends.
That doesn't sound very encouraging.
There are a lot of factors to pricing a home, including the upgrades, renovations, and quality of construction. Comps or comparables are what we use as real estate agents to find similar homes to see what they're either selling for or sold for. The price per square foot is a good starting point, but remember, not all homes are created equally, so your price per square foot may differ greatly from your neighbors.
After weighing the pros and cons, real estate agents Alfonso Milanese and his wife Anne-Marie decided to take on their friends Shauna and Tate as clients and list their Burbank property. The older home has been beautifully remodeled, but there's no garage, and the neighborhood comps are all for much newer homes, which makes pricing the property a challenge.
Hey Shauna, it's Alfonso and Anne-Marie here.
Hi, guys.
We're ready with everything as far as putting it into the MLS and listing your property. The only thing missing is that all-important price. So have you decided what you wanted to do?
Yeah, Tate and I talked it over, and we considered everything you guys laid out in terms of, what would be a good range. And, we came up with 1.275 as a listing price.
Okay, we can try it out for a while and see what comes of it.
That doesn't sound very encouraging.
Well, I always have to prepare for the worst but hope for the best.
Well, okay.
All right then. So we'll get it going. So $1,275,000 done.
Okay, great.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Shauna.
Well, what do you think?
I wish she had gone lower. I can understand where she's coming from. She warrants it. They did all the work themselves. They did the painting, the gardening, the landscaping, everything.
But the house doesn't have everything done. I mean, don't forget, it's still missing a garage.
If you go lower, like we discussed, you know, I think you're going to hit a lot more people that can max out at $1.2 million or even $1.25 million. I really think you're missing some of that market there.
Yeah. I think the key to this particular house is getting it shown as much as possible.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
With the listing price set at $1,275,000, Alfonso and Anne-Marie move forward with the next phase of aggressively marketing the home with an open house.
What we do that's unique is that we have a private neighborhood preview that we do for all of our listings. Essentially, it's like a cocktail party for the neighbors to come and see the house that we're about to put on the market. It gives them a chance to see the house, also get to know us, and then tell their friends and family about the house just before it goes onto the market.
Is this an old house or a new house?
It's actually a little bit of both.
I like the fact that the neighbors can come in and see the house and get their own buzz talking about it and tell their family, tell their friends about the house.
I think it's going extremely well for a Twilight Open, but there hasn't been any positive great price or no bad price. It just seems to be like, okay, that's the price, and they go ahead and keep looking at the house.
After several months and many more open houses, Alfonso and Anne-Marie have yet to receive any serious offers on the property. Even they have trouble agreeing on what to do next.
I've seen a lot of price decreases going on all around. People are bringing it down.
But the thing is the price reduction bringing in buyers, or is it literally something to just placate the seller? Because if it doesn't bring in the buyer, then really you could reduce it all you want. If somebody's not going to buy, they're not going to buy.
Coming up, after more months of no viable offers, Alfonso meets with the sellers for a heart-to-heart talk.
Holding an open house may seem easy, but here are some tips to make yours really successful. You really got to be prepared for any possible questions from prospective buyers. Have some snacks and some refreshments handy for them. It'll make them feel at home. And open up your drapes. This will let a lot of natural light into your house, and thus making it a cheery place to show.
After taking on the listing of their friend's home, real estate agents Alfonso and Anne-Marie have found their hands tied because the sellers have insisted on a high asking price. After months of open houses and no serious offers, Alfonso and Anne-Marie find themselves running out of options.
I'm really feeling we need the price reduction. And I think that 1.2, if we could just get it right underneath that, it's really going to help.
But the traffic hasn't stopped. It's been constant since day one. We still have to find that right person to buy that particular house, and that's essentially where we need to be.
I think it needs to be under $1.2 million.
Listen, it's not like I'm afraid about approaching them for a price change. I just think that they feel that it's worth a certain amount of money.
I just can't stop thinking that, you know, a price reduction might move it faster. We might get an offer on the table.
Alfonso meets with Shauna to see if he can finally convince her to lower the asking price.
The number one reason why houses stay on the market is because they're overpriced.
We put so much blood and sweat and tears into this house. At the end of the day, it's like, we're not gonna give it away. We'd rather not sell it.
After the meeting, Shauna and Tate decide to pull the house off the market and end their listing with Alfonso and Anne-Marie.
We think it makes the most sense for us to just pull it off the market right now. And the reason being is that, you know, the timing just wasn't right, and that's okay.
The good news is even though Alfonso and Anne-Marie were not successful in selling Shauna and Tate's home, their friendship is still intact.
You know, ultimately, pulling it off the market was probably the smartest move for them because they weren't forced to sell the house. So what they can do is reassess the market and at a later time put it back on. You know, in the end, we all remain friends, which is the important thing. As a matter of fact, I'm playing cards with Tate next week.
Shauna and Tate have decided to keep their home off the market for the foreseeable future, but have assured Alfonso and Anne-Marie that they will hire them again when they feel the time is right to sell.